We begin tonight with a proposed new rule that could indefinitely prevent asylum seekers from being able to work legally in the United States. The change is still under consideration, but if approved, would upend 30 years of immigration law. CBS's Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins me now to explain. Tell me exactly, Camilo, what rule is being considered here?
John, this would be a major change to U.S. immigration policy. Dating back to the 1990s, the U.S. has allowed asylum applicants to work in the U.S. lawfully while their cases are adjudicated, mainly to prevent them from relying on government aid and assistance. And typically, under current procedures and regulations, asylum applicants can be eligible for that work permit once their case has been pending for 180 days. But this proposal under consideration by the Trump administration would upend that process by enacting a pause, a suspension in work permits for asylum seekers until officials are able to process and adjudicate all asylum cases within an average of 180 days. And even if that goal is reached, which is very unlikely given the current constraints and backlogs, officials would increase the waiting period for asylum seekers to be eligible for a work permit from 6 months to 1 year.
So does this effectively mean you wouldn't be able to work at all, or what's the practical effect for somebody?
Well, the practical effect is that if this pause goes into effect and you are applying for asylum, you are no longer able to get that work permit and you would have to rely on others or the government for subsistence. But the administration is arguing that this will curtail abuse in the system. Advocates are concerned, however, that this will encourage migrants to work in the U.S. illegally in dangerous and unlawful jobs.
Right, go into the black market. Quickly, a teenager was arrested when ICE was looking for his father, couldn't find the father, arrested him instead. What happened?
That's right. So we know an 18-year-old in Massachusetts was detained by ICE this past weekend in Milford. And according to his family, he has no criminal record in the U.S. and has been living here for most of his life, about 13 years. And those are characteristics, John, that traditionally would refrain or make ICE refrain, rather, from arresting somebody. But under this administration, they have made it very clear that anyone who is here illegally is fair game to be arrested and deported from the country.
Camilo Montoya-Galvez, thank you as always.